Welcome to Taste Like Tea, a podcast in which T, um, talk about things I like. My name is Theo. Don't call me Ted. I'm pretty sure I promised at some point that I wasn't going to call myself T, so that's kind of a shame. But yes, hi, hello. Today is the first episode that I have thought about what I was going to do, or figured out what I was going to do more than an hour before I started recording. So this is about as planned as you're going to experience on the show, at least as far as we've gotten now. I decided to talk about a double feature I had over the weekend. I like to set up double features. I don't always do it. Sometimes I find connections between two things I watch rather than intentionally building a double feature. But I did intentionally build a double feature over the weekend. And it was a very good experience, and I'm going to try and talk about it. I wish I was more organized. It's less than 2 minutes in and I could be starting, but I'm about to backtrack and say I have an email for some reason, and if for whatever reason you decide to reach out to me, that's like the only place you can get it. I mean, I have my letterbox linked, but yeah, I mean, if for some reason you have some sort of comment or concern, I'm here. And the email is at anythingbutted@gmail.com. It exists, and I eagerly await something, I guess. I don't know. It's there, though. Great. Now that I did the thing, I don't have social media, at least not for a page like this. I do have my YouTube channel, Anything But Ted, which is where this is also getting uploaded to. You could totally check that out. There's like 800 videos of me playing video games on there in some way, shape, or form. And I have a secret Beat Saber video that's private that I can only share a link of because YouTube will mute it if I put it public, which is fun. But yeah, today I'm going to talk about a double feature. I watched 2 movies in a row with a theme. How do I transition into this? I guess let's describe the theme, right? It's probably in the title. Actually, it's probably not, because I'm going to start vague and build my way to what I actually ended up calling it, because it kind of started in a couple stages. But it's an Italian double feature. Both films are written, starring, and directed by the same person. Maybe he didn't write it. I should probably have known that before. I think he wrote it. They star the same 2 people. They're written. Oh, yeah, written, yep. Yep. Written, starring, and directed by. And the double feature is a double feature of Roberto Benigni. He's a name that, it's weird. I think he's like really famous, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that knows who he is by name. There's probably more people I know that could probably at least identify his face. He has a pretty distinguishable face. He's very seeable. But, and actually, if you listen to my last, now I'm thinking about it, if you listen to my last, my top 20 episode, my most recent top 20 episode, I'm pretty sure this explanation is going to be exactly like what I said in that. This is a double feature, Roberto Benigni. It is both films. The Monster from 1994, and Life is Beautiful from 1997. I don't know if there's an English dub for The Monster, but there was for Life is Beautiful. For once, though, I did watch it with the original Italian. Mostly because the main reason I watch Life is Beautiful is because of how Roberto Benigni speaks. The way he talks is like half of the reason I watch the film. Yeah, so where do I start here? I guess let's not talk about Life is Beautiful. That's the second film. The first film in this double feature is The Monster. Roberto Benigni is a comedian. He seems to be fairly taken seriously as of nowish, but he seems to be primarily a comedian. He does a lot of physical comedy as much as he babbles on in Italian and, tricks people and stuff. He's fun. He's a fella. But The Monster, I've been wanting to see this film for a while, and it's not because of it's not because I knew what it was. It was literally just, it's those people from Life is Beautiful in a movie and I've only seen the poster up until last week, where it's just a picture of, my man holding a chainsaw and what's her name with a gun. Like, it's just a fun looking poster, and it's been on my watch list forever, even though, like I said, I didn't really know anything about it. I think at best I read the first line of the blurb, which is a vicious serial sex killer. A vicious serial sex killer is on the loose. And I kind of just went, that sounds amazing. A comedy, or even not a comedy, even if this was just a straight up horror, although the poster is absolutely a comedy. There's no way you couldn't take that with a laugh. But the film, it's great. It's really good. It was such a great experience. Which, just spoiler alert, this double feature was immaculate. I had a fantastic time. This was a great use of 225 minutes. A fantastic use of it. I loved every second of it. I loved might not be the best word to use since, anyway. The Monster, it starts off, and this is kind of what I expected, right? It starts off kind of bleak. It's very, like there's newscasters describing vicious murders, and you see a dead body on screen, and there's some like spooky lighting, and the synth music is going a little crazier than it would throughout the rest of the film. Like it's selling you on this being a horror film because it's about a serial sex killer on the loose. And he's up to 18 victims. Like, they're deep in the serial killer killings. Like, this is people scrambling, not knowing what to do, kind of like 18 sequential found bodies that are all connected to the same person, and they just cannot find the guy. So then it cuts to our boy Roberto Benigni. He plays a character named Loris. Loris. And he's at a party. He's chilling. He's carrying a drink, maybe not. I don't remember. But some dude comes and walks up to him, and he starts jib-jabbing to him about like the economy or whatever. And then he goes, "Don't look now. Like, seriously, don't look." And he forces him to not look, which is a key point to the conversation. He says, "Don't look now." But the horniest, sexiest nymphomaniac is sitting in that chair right behind you next to the roses. And then I'm going to gossip to you for a few minutes about her. And then I'm going to say, "Don't you go after her." But we all know that he's going to. He's kind of, throwing out leading questions, trying to find out more about her, even though he's trying to have a conversation about the economy or whatever. It's classic comedy. It's funny shit. Babbling horny Italian man and other babbling less horny Italian man, but has a mustache. Just jib-jabbing. So, while that conversation is going on, I'm sorry, this is going to be a detail. I don't know why this is how I'm going to do it, but I had a great time telling this story to my friend the other night, and I haven't gotten it all out of my system yet. I've actually been holding it in. I've been trying not to talk about it with people at work today to try and keep it all in for right now. Hey, hi, how are you? So during this conversation about the economy and nymphomaniacs or whatever, again, I'm not going to say again, Anyway. While this conversation is happening, the nymphomaniac is picked up by a group of dudes. They just come by and molest her for a moment, and she goes, "Ha, that was great," and then she walks off. And then a different woman, a little older, maybe part of the joke is that she was unattractive, but I didn't necessarily think so. I wouldn't say I was like gross. I just wasn't grossed out. She was a woman, she was just an older woman. She sat down next to the flowers, and Roberto Benigni finds his moment. He turns around and he goes, "All right, I'm going to go talk to this nymphomaniac and try and, fuck some bitches." So he walks up to this woman, and he, well, actually, does he, I think he just, makes vague eye contact for a few minutes, and then he takes, a weird side glance as a signal to follow her. So he follows her into a room and accidentally molests this woman. Accidentally, because, he thought it was the signal. And, that's comedy, right? I hate that. I'm going to say that a lot. But, that wasn't actually, accidentally molesting somebody isn't really the joke. It's the fact that this entire film is just a series of misunderstandings. And it's so many misunderstandings piled up on top of each other that it's just... it gets crazy and ridiculous. And so he goes in this room, he tries to grab on this woman, and she screams, and he runs away. So this woman runs out and is... remember, this is in the midst of a serial sex killer prowling about. So she runs out and is like, "Oh my god, I was just sexually assaulted by a mysterious man." And everyone goes, "That must be the monster." So she goes to file a police report and identifies Roberto Benigni as the monster. That's literally what they call the Il Monstro. It's what they call the serial killer. That's his tagline. So oh my god, this man is the monster. He's just rolling around, assaulting women in broad daylight. It was nighttime there, but where to go from there? Yeah, so the police tag him as the monster. So now he's basically public enemy number one, but he doesn't know about it. He just thought he made a horny woman nervous, or that he grabbed the wrong woman. So he's oblivious to the situation. But while he's, studying for his Chinese spoken exam, he is being tagged as this serial sex rapist murderer. Meanwhile, he's also... So, no, he's not a serial killer. But he is still a piece of shit. and I think that's kind of an important part of the film, is like, he may not be killing people, but he's definitely kind of he's kind of a con man. He like dodges his landlord day after day to avoid being evicted. He sneaks in through the windows so that no one sees him coming home. I don't want to say I don't get it. He's, like I said, it's part of the character. He's supposed to be kind of a piece of shit, so that, not so that, but he gets into situations. He's a fella. God damn it! There's this like crouching bit that is just so funny in the movie. So, like I said, he sneaks in and out of his apartment building so that he's not caught by his landlord or the front desk guy or anything. So to get out of the building through the front door, he does like a Splinter Cell like wall hug, and he kneels down and he kind of like squats under the counter so that nobody sees him walk out of the building. But there's this random white man that lives in the building that just sees this man crouching and walking along all goofy like. He just, he's like, buongiorno. He hits him with a good morning, and he just accepts it. He goes, yeah, there's just a guy squatting, walking around, having a good old time. And at some point, I think that same exact scene, he walks out of the building and goes like, enjoy your walk. He just waddles away. He stays crouched the entire time. He does not break the facade. I don't understand why exactly. Obviously for the bit is funny, but whenever he's around this man, he's squatted down. So from that man's perspective, he just lives his life 2 feet from the ground. And when he walks, he like hops up and down, and oh, so good. And then later in the film, hold on, let's not get there yet. Sorry, we'll come back to the squatting bit. That'll be a recurring thing. By the way, I don't know how long this episode is going to go for. I'm technically only talking about 2 films here, but I'm giving myself, yikes, I have way less time than I normally do. But I'm going to do that thing of just talking about the 2 movies, and it might take still 90 minutes or an hour or so, but we'll see. So the monster. So, okay, here we go. Where do I go from here, right? So the police. The police have, now that they have his face, then they have identified him. They got his name. They figured out who he was. They just need to catch him because they don't have any actual proof, right? Because they have a suspicion, and they have a woman that just accused him of not successfully murdering and sexually assaulting somebody. So the police need proof. So before they gather up all the women police officers, because all the targets are women naturally, it's a sex killer in the 90s. That doesn't mean anything. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the sexual orientation of the serial killers of the time, but that necessarily isn't true as like a guarantee. But so the cops before they gather up all the female cops to try and put together like a squad of inside women to catch this man. They collect all this CCTV footage, and it's really, really just so good. This is where the pure comedy of the show, like I've been saying the joke of like, that's comedy. This is one of the funniest things in the fucking movie. The whole film is so funny, but this part specifically so they collected all this CCTV footage of scenes you've seen already. So the context of them not actually being bad. Like, for example, and this is a really bleak one, but like the neighbor kids keep throwing dead cats into this man's apartment. So he has a scene where he's walking down the street with a dead cat in a bag because he's about to trash it. He doesn't want to deal with the dead cat. He walks around a corner, pets a cat that looks similar, and then turns back around the corner and throws the dead cat away. And the CCTV footage didn't see that there was a second cat, in like a dead cat already. So all the cops saw was a cat turn the corner, all happy and alive, and then 2 seconds later, Loris walking back around the corner with a dead cat being thrown in the trash. And they watch this footage and they're like, "Mother of God, the reprehensible acts that this man is willing to do in broad daylight, the monster." And then it cuts to like the other my other favorite one, because I can't actually think of the other ones that are like this funny, but the other one is sorry, I'm trying to stick to the character's name. Loris. It's got to be Loris, right? That's kind of how the Italian alphabet works. He's at like a restaurant, and he does some scumbag funny stuff that like gets him a free coffee, and it looks like he paid for it and stuff, which is top-notch quality comedy right there. But then a dude smoking a cigarette bumps into him, and the cigarette somehow miraculously falls down Loris's pants. He doesn't notice. He just keeps walking along, and then he gets stuck walking behind this big-bootied woman in semi-transparent white pants. And they get out of the restaurant. He's walking right behind her. He's admiring her, because he's a little bit of a pervert weirdo. He's just standing there staring at her. She drops something and bends over, and it's just like a whole scene of him just staring there. But we'll wait a minute. There's a lit cigarette in this man's pants. And he doesn't realize until just now. And he just starts freaking the fuck out. And he's like flailing his arms around. He's hopping up and down. He's grabbing his crotch. He's punching his dick. He's doing everything. And then after like a good minute or so of him freaking the fuck out and beating down his dick in front of this woman with aggressive, evil looking face, he pours a bottle of water down his pants, and he makes like a weird like face, the classic cartoon like you've been on fire for 2 minutes, but that water feels good kind of thing. The cops have it on CCTV, but they don't know anything about the cigarette. So on camera, it looks like this man is vigorously masturbating while staring at this woman, and then also actively, because he's punching his crotch, they think he's actively like fighting his urges to murder the woman in front of him. And they're all watching out of like with disgust, and they're just so repulsed by what they're watching. They even they pause the video mid of him freaking out. It looks like what you'd expect like a chainsaw killer face to look like. They just like pause on a face of him, and then they're like, "Look at that face of evil, the monstrous face of the devil himself." And so that's just like, that's where most of the comedy is that this man is doing things that are completely unintentionally innocent. But because everyone thinks he's a mass murderer, he's the scariest person around, and he just doesn't get it. What's that one movie that my mom likes? Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's kind of like that, where it's literally just like, it's only circumstantially evil, scary. Because from the other perspective, it's just like, oh, I'm just living my life, going to work. So the cops show all these women this footage, and that's where they're describing like how he's so evil and disgusting. And by the end of the scene, every woman, because right before they start, they're like, if you can't handle this, we don't blame you for not doing it. You can leave at any moment during this presentation, but we're about to show you the facts. And then they go and show all this stuff that I just described to you. There was a few other scenes, like him running across the street, perfectly timing his getaway, like an evil genius that just knows the streets. And by the end of this presentation, the whole room is emptied out. They've all left. They're like, fuck this shit. I'm out. Except for one person. One resilient person. The fantastic actress that I only know from these two films, Nicoletta Braschi. She plays, Jesus Christ, she plays Jessica. Jessica Rossetti. Have I seen anything else? No, those are the only two things. She is Roberto Benigni's wife. And they are in all their movies together, it seems. I haven't seemed to find a single one that they aren't in together. Oh, just like that. Anyway. So she takes on the task of, yes, I will infiltrate and seduce this monster to catch him in the act of trying to kill me. And, she meets up with him. She's like, hey, can I move in? And he goes, yeah, hell yeah. He hasn't paid rent, so he's like, I'm going to charge you 8 months rent if you can move in. And she said, okay, because she's doing everything at all costs. And some stuff happens, some time passes. She's living in the apartment. And there's a scene where Larice is just complaining to his friend. He's like, dude, there's this woman that's been living with me, and she's just naked all the time. She just won't put clothes on. And when she does, they're like sexy clothes. And like, no matter what, she has to be like doing something over me. Like when she's cleaning the shelf right above me, climbing on top of me, reaching across me to like put books away, and he's just complaining about it. He's like, this sucks. Like, I'm trying to be respectful to this woman. I want to have a nice roommate relationship, but she's just making it hard. Like, I can't, like, I'm uncomfortable in my own home. The guy might have said, like, what's the problem? Naked women at your house? Like, it was probably some dude moment like that. I don't remember. But he gets home, and they show you what's happening. And he's just sitting in, like, a little chair in his little, like, reading nook. And it's just this like, beautiful woman putting on, like, lingerie in front of him. And, like, taking things off and putting things on and taking things off and, like, climbing on top. Like, and she's doing it in, like, the most deadpan way of just, like, oh my gosh, like, I got to do something over here. She's not British, but that's how anyway. She's, like, just doing fuck shit. She's running around in skimpy-ass clothes and really putting this man to the test. And she's getting frustrated. Oh, the friend during that conversation said, if you really don't want to bang this chick and you want to unhorny yourself, just start thinking about inflation. And he's like, inflation? That's dumb as shit. But mid this scene of him having tits thrown in his face and stuff, he just starts talking about the reason to buy a lira over $1 versus a franc, and he's talking about inflation, and he's ignoring what she's saying, talking about while he talks about inflation, and she's ignoring what he's saying to try and break him and get him to be seduced and activate his killer abilities. But yeah, it just kind of goes on for a while, and then they eventually, like, it's weird because normally in a situation like this, because obviously the relationship develops, right? It's a comedy. It's a man and a woman. They're married in real life. They're falling in love in the movie. That's the point of the movie, other than the fact that there's a serial killer on loose and he's being accused of being it. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, she's doing all that stuff. It's not as successful. She's starting to realize that he's just normal. He probably isn't the killer. So she's letting her guard down. I think she still has like a professionalism to her goals. Like, I think she sticks around mostly because she's a cop, but she definitely like lightens her take on him after a few weeks, because he's just a quiet little weirdo that is trying not to stare at her tits. The police refuse this to be a thing. They're like, there's no way. We have someone who described this man, and we have a picture of his face. Like, we know who he is. So they're refusing to accept it. I'm going to wrap this up for the monster. I just need to think of what I was going to say last. Because the monster is good. Oh, right. I had to get back to the... right. Let's just finish it off with the squatting joke that I said I was going to come back to. Because she's living in the same building as Loris, she learns like the ways to get in and out of the house just like him, so that she can live and be with him and stuff like that. So she starts sneaking out of the apartment building with him, and it sets off this amazing scene where the white man shows up again, naturally, as he do. There's other scenes, by the way, where he shows up, like where he bends down in the middle of the street to tie his shoe and he shows up. So like, it's not just like at the apartment. But they've seen each other enough to recognize each other, and for some reason, every time they see each other, Loris is squatting down. But now he sees Loris and this new woman, Jessica, there, also squatting down, and he just, he lets it, he accepts it. He goes, buongiorno, buongiorno, one to each. And then every time he does that, by the way, the doorman also says buongiorno back. So he says it an additional time. So, like, if the doorman was paying attention, he probably could be catching Loris doing this, but he's just buongiorno. So he sees these two people now squatting, and he meets them outside. He stops and waits for them, and they're still doing the squatting all the way up the stairs. He goes, I hope you have a nice walk today. And, oh, grazie. And and then he asks, then he goes, is this your wife? And he just replies, why, yes, it is. Then they exchange pleasantries. They piacere. They say nice to meet you to each other, and they shake hands. And then they share a walk for a few moments, and they actually speak. And he goes, well, I'll be on my way. You two enjoy your lives as squatting adults. And he's just on his way. Oh my God. It's so funny. The ending I didn't see coming, but maybe it's because I wasn't paying attention to the fact that there was actually a real killer going on. You kind of forget the point, like, because the police are focused on a man who isn't the killer, so I'm focused on the man who isn't the killer. I forgot there was a killer, so by the time they reveal the killer, I'm like, oh shit, I guess it does have to be that guy, because who else could it be? But it was good. It was a really great film, and I did it in a specific order because Life is Beautiful is what I put up next. Life is Beautiful is the reason I watched these two films together. They're why I watched the films in general. During my top 20 list, my top 20 episode, I mentioned that if I haven't seen it for a long time and it's on my top 20, I feel obligated to remove it. And if I were to hit the next top 20 in June with sorry, without seeing it, even no matter how fond I was of the film, I was taking it off the top 20. It was undoubtedly going to happen if I didn't watch it by then, because I would be going off of a 10-year-old opinion at that point, and I have fresher opinions that can fit that spot better. But I wanted to rewatch this because I really didn't want to let it go, because I know it's good. I know it's a fantastic film. I know I love it. It's amazing, and it's one of the few foreign films that I was aware of prior to starting my film a day journey, my Letterboxd experience, if you will, because it kind of lined up with each other. I did do movies a little bit longer, I think about 6 months before I downloaded Letterboxd, so I did see some things that I would have loved to have logged. Oh man, I would have killed to have logged Night Dreams for the first time. Because I actually went to that watching it like regular porn, and I was like just excited to watch regular porn, and it wasn't, and I just kind of sat there. Anyway, life is beautiful. So it's basically two films, and I think that's why I like it so much, is because the pacing is immaculate. It flies, because you need to get two entirely different plots. Basically, it's building its own sequel, but it needs to be the same thing. Like, it needs to be one, but they're completely different. It's hard to explain. So the first hour of the film is a romantic comedy. It stars Roberto Benigni. Literally, opening scene is him in a car with his buddy. He's driving down the road. They're speeding down the road in their convertible. Love and life. And then the friend driving the car goes, "Oh shit, the brakes are broken." So they just go barreling down the hill, freaking the fuck out, not understanding that they should probably just put the car into like neutral and, turn a little bit to like lose momentum. But they turn off the road and start going down a hill. They get stuck on a road in the middle of a parade, and he accidentally steals the thunder of an Italian. Would it be a prime minister, president, leader? It was some sort of like powerful person, someone that they would gather for the arrival of, kind of a JFK, because that's kind of the scene I imagine when I think about that, kind of like people just kind of gathering on the streets just to see a guy drive by, and they wave at him and maybe throw up a salute or something. That's the kind of character that these people were expecting. And Roberto Benigni gets stuck. Not stuck. He lands. Him and his friend drive up on that road and convince the crowd that he's the leader. Does a little bit where he like throws up a very questionable salute, but the people loved it. And he yeah, and then the guy shows up, and they're all like, "Who the fuck is this guy? He's not the guy that just came through saluting us. That guy was cool." Romantic comedy, starts off funny, driving down a hill. They crash the car, right? And then immediately, that's kind of where the movie starts immediately. The brakes not working is basically the inciting incident. Because from that first scene, they crash into the car, they land on a farm. And Roberto Benigni, he plays a character named Guido, which I don't really understand why. Isn't that what people insult Italians with? Or is that like an Italian name that turned into an insult? Kind of like how, at least my dad, I'm not going to generalize all racist white men, but would say like Pedro or Jose as to be as malicious as they can towards a Mexican person. Is Guido just calling an Italian person by like the most Italian name possible kind of thing? I don't know. But his name is Guido. he rolls up to the farm that he just crashed out in front of, and he talks to this girl. I don't remember what he was talking about. He's charming. He's a silly fella. He's playing along with the fact that he was just, he's a prince. It was a prince. He's wearing a sash or something, and he's like, yeah, I was just in the prince parade. I was the prince. And yeah, I'm the prince. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're the prince. And she gives him some eggs, and he like pops his hat up, being all happy and stuff. Fun. It was a very lighthearted moment. But then as he's walking away with his free eggs, a woman falls out of the barn, lands in his arms. And the first things out of his mouth are, Buongiorno, principessa. Because, he's the prince, and he's looking for his princess. He found her. She fell out. I think he was literally telling the girl, like, oh, I'm looking for a princess. And she's going to, like, it's just like the monster being a series of like, misunderstandings. Life is Beautiful is a series of coincidences. So he's like declaring, like, blah, 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 I want a wife, and she's going to be my princess. And then she falls into his arms, and he calls her princess. And that's the best sentence in the whole movie. They say it over and over again. It's beautifully said. It has a lot of heartfelt energy tied to it. It's fantastic. And to know that it's been said over a decade to this woman straight is just beautiful. But that's the first words he says to her is, Buongiorno, principessa. And then he says some stuff. He's charming, and he jib-jabs a lot. That's the thing about Roberto Benigni, is he babbles on, and he knows how to not let you get a word in whatsoever. Sorry, I don't know what I was talking about. That's cool. Buongiorno, principessa. And then he runs off, and she goes, wow, he's so charming and random and out of nowhere. Then he drives off. I think his friend fixed the wheel. He drives off. He goes to bed. He shares a bed with his friend, I think because they're poor and it's cheaper to share a bed, probably. He's talking about to this guy. He's like, I love this girl. She's amazing. And then the whole first hour, I'm not going to go scene by scene in every encounter, but like he runs her over with a bike accidentally while he's being chased by a guy he stole the hat of, and he hits her with a Buongiorno, principessa. And then he finds out that she works at the school, and then he finds a way to get into the school, and he goes into the school and goes, Buongiorno, principessa. And from her perspective, he just happens to be everywhere. And she loves it. That's the thing. It's not a creepy... And this is where it's weird for me, because I don't like romantic comedies, and I don't think most romantic comedy tropes are charming in any way. But this film is very charming to me. And maybe it's because I know what happens. Maybe it's because I know there's more to it. Maybe it is just better. And this movie is just better than most romantic comedies. Who knows? I think it is. It's a fantastic film. It's a piece of art. And sorry, I'm moving my leg around. I've been a little restless the last few weeks. Yeah, he runs into her a bunch of times. She loves the spontaneity. He hates that he can't consistently see her, so that's why he keeps trying to go out of his way to find her in very charming ways. And then he wins her over eventually, right? That's the whole thing. That's the whole first hour of the film, is he wins her over. He gets her to leave her arranged marriage. She's Jewish, I believe. And they ride away on a horse that was graffitied with a bunch of anti-Semitic graffiti. Paint job. Big skull and crossbones. It's kind of rude to the horse, to be honest. I mean, obviously rude to the Jewish people, too. But that just seems like a pointless thing to do. So they run off into the sunset together, and then it cuts to 10 years in the future, or 12 or whatever, time jump. They have a kid, right? And they exist. They're in Italy. And they own a bookstore. So they have a kid, a loving child. He's got big dark eyes and super light hair, and he jumps around. He's all happy. He's Italian, you know. They love it. But then, like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes into the showing, like, their married life and how great they have it being alive and owning a non-profitable bookstore and, you know, doing their best. Their life is beautiful, you know. They're out here. And then Nazis come and take them to a concentration camp. And that's really where most of the movie is supposed to happen. Or no, I shouldn't say it like that. The Holocaust is a huge part of this film. But yeah, so they get taken by the Nazis. They get thrown on a train. Father and son are thrown on a train. The mother, I guess the mother isn't Jewish inherently. Maybe she isn't Jewish. Because I know that Guido is. Guido is definitely Jewish. But Dora isn't put on the train. She voluntarily goes. She goes, if my husband and child are going, I'm going. And the Nazis are like, that's dumb, but I guess you can. I guess they can use the work. So they go to the concentration camp, and this is really where, maybe not, like I said, it's not where most of the film is, but it's where a lot of the film's focus is, might be a way to do it. So the thing about this experience is that, you know, what the hell is that kid's name? Jesus Christ, I'm not remembering that. Jose? Oh, Joshua. Right. Joshua? Yeah, Joshua? Yeah, that's how they pronounce it. Joshua. Yeah, his name's Joshua. Joshua is a little itty-bitty child boy. And he's like, Papa, where are we going? I don't like the train. It's really loud and all these people are crowded. And he's like, and the dad, from that moment on, I mean, he's kind of been the best guy ever so far. But, like, from here on is really where, like, the power of his character comes in. Because, yeah, he's an upbeat guy. He's a silly fella, right? Roberto Benigni, he knows how to jib-jab. He knows how to be happy. He knows how to smile. He knows how to pop his hat around. He's fun. And he uses that strength to comfort his child. So, from that question on of, like, why can't, or, like, where are we going, he's convincing his son that them being taken to a concentration camp is a fun vacation. And that sounds like an impossible task. It almost is. Because it doesn't necessarily work out well enough to where that thing is pulled through, right? Because it's like, it's still a concentration camp, right? Like, it's still fucked. It's fucked in every way imaginable. It's, yeah, but, sorry, I got distracted. I'm trying to realign myself. I really should move my car when I do this, because the movement around me is usually what stresses me out. Concentration camp. Yeah, so he convinces his son that they're going to like a sleepaway camp. And they make friends with like this silly, well, not silly guy. He's just a respectful guy. His name is like Bartholomew or something like that. He's been settled into the camp for a little while, and he helps them get their grounds. And like, he gives them tips. He's their little like inside man for how to exist. Everyone needs that in a prison camp setting. So the children don't work, I don't think. I don't think. There's a few scenes where Roberto Benigni is taken out, and it's not. I mean, it's horrible. He's forced to do manual labor that's like inhumane, and all the Nazi concentration camp stuff. He's forced to do horrible manual labor until he's worked to death. Like that's his job. And he overhears. Or no, I don't overhear. There's like someone that has a conversation that I can hear. Like as the viewer, you get to hear it, but I don't think it's actually to Guido, because I don't know how he would be so ignorant to the next scene after that. But they say, they will call all the children to take a shower, and that's them it's the women. It's Dora, because Dora got separated. The mother, the mother's in the camp. She's on the other side of the camp with the women, and the women are like, yeah, if old people or children are called to take a shower, that means they're going to be killed. And then the next scene is Joshua sneaking up to Guido, like carrying anvils in giant like metal vats and shit like that, like breaking his back for little reason. And this kid comes around and he's like, Papa, they're telling me I have to go take a shower, and us are like, holy shit. But he's like, I don't want to take a shower. I don't want to take a bath. That's like a character trait of his. He doesn't like to bathe. He's very stubborn when it comes to taking a bath. So he doesn't want to take a bath or a shower, and his dad's like, go take a shower like they tell you to. He goes, no. Like, it's one of those conversations, and he's like, fine, we'll just hide there, don't take a shower. Lo and behold, he let his son survive by doing that, and now he's the only child left in the camp. And it gets a little harder to convince him that things are okay after that. But he persists. He basically convinces the son that everybody who tries to tell him that something evil is happening is just them trying to get into his head to make him lose the game that they're playing. They're trying to earn like good boy points to win a tank. That's the objective. And the film is, I don't know why, I don't know where to go with this. Like, why am I talking about it like this? What do I get out of describing to you what happens in the film? Anyway, I'm just gonna keep doing it. He keeps telling the son, he's like, you gotta keep sticking it out. We're gonna win the tank. We're so close. We're in the lead. He keeps leading him on. One of the best scenes in the film is when they go, does anybody know how to speak German here? And he falsely says he does, so that he can explain the rules to Joshua, the fake rules, so that nobody hears. And the Germans don't know Italian, so they don't know what he's saying. But he like lays out these silly game rules to a room full of prisoners, just so that his son can be a little excited. It's really good energy, and it's really amazing. But shit goes down. Eventually, the camp they're in starts to get fucked. And the Nazis start like burning shit, and they killed. Oh my god. Yeah, I can't talk about all of this. I don't have enough time to talk about all of it, but life is beautiful. it is definitely getting shot up on my top 20 list. Where it is not where it deserves to be. This film is very powerful. It made me cry a couple of times. Bro, when they there's something about prison movies and stealing like a loudspeaker announcement, like there's something like they do it in Shawshank, they do it in this, they do it in a couple of TV shows with schools where it's pretty powerful too. Like there's something about hijacking a grounds wide mic to let you tell everybody in your vicinity area exactly what you want. And they do it to say hello to their mom, and it's so fucking beautiful, dude. It's gut pounding, gut wrenching. It's amazing. It's such a... And then the end, where Nazis are like finished, kind of. It's amazing. I don't really know exactly why I did this episode on this double feature, now that I'm really looking back at what I said. I think I just really want to talk about it. I could still talk about it more, honestly, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll still do what I watched later this week or next week, and maybe I'll touch on it, because like I lost about half an hour of my recording time, so I genuinely am like cutting it by seconds by talking still. But yeah, I love Life is Beautiful. It's a film that should be watched. I don't know why the monster is so meteorically rated. I think it's a hilarious film, and it totally holds up to the 22-year time difference since it was made. I think that one's findable, probably. Let me see. It's probably on Tubi. Yeah, it's on Tubi. So watch The Monster, 1994, Roberto Benigni. It's amazing. It's a hilarious comedy. And if you are willing to put up with the heartache and the joys of the beauty of life or whatever, double feature it with Life is Beautiful, because it's a film that is very important to me, and maybe it's just because of my experience. Maybe I'll talk about it again in the future, but it won a lot of awards for a reason. I don't normally talk about awards like that, but I feel like that's a way to sell it to people, even though I don't care about awards. Like it's immensely powerful. Saying it's a comedy in the lighthearted way that I do is more of a joke. It's still a very serious film. It's still very heartwarming. It's more of a drama than a comedy. I'd even say at times it borderlines thriller, but like it's bleak. It's a bleak film. It does talk about the Nazis, but just like the people in the special features of the DVD were saying, like it's kind of not exclusively about the Holocaust. It's kind of just about like the perseverance and the ability to find joys in life, and to motivate others, and to really just persevere. That's important. And this film portrays it in a really powerful way that I think should be experienced. There is an English dub for Life is Beautiful. I didn't watch it. It might be alright. I might watch it one day, because my partner doesn't watch Italian films, so I can put it on English and be like, but no, it doesn't look like it's available on any services I'm aware of, but seek it out. If you know who I am and you know me in person, I'll lend you my DVD, because it's good. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. I guess that's the episode. I wish I knew how to bumper episodes more, because like I I've listened to podcasts that like the Gom Jabbar podcast for the Dune. I love those guys. I haven't listened to him in a while, but he had this bit where he talked about like strafing, and he's like, I don't really appreciate when podcasters like go on a tangent. I love a tangent. If I didn't want a tangent, I'd listen to the audiobook, right? Like I tangents humanize the listening experience, and they make it more like a conversation um, than just something that I'm there to be enriched with, because I could just listen to a book and do the same thing. But I enjoy the strafing, and a lot of my favorite podcasts spend a good 10-15 minutes at the beginning and end of each episode just fucking around, jib-jabbing, plugging their shit and stuff, but I don't have shit to plug. I'm not very good at improvisation, and I don't know, I don't have no one to bounce off of, you know? Isn't that maybe I'll listen to that. No, he jib-jabs too. I just gotta learn how to jib-jab more. Maybe give me some jib-jabbing topics to fluff out an episode with. But anyway, this is a thank you for listening to Taste Like Tea, the podcast about me. I am I, me is me. I don't know. I am tea. Bye.